Listen, listen this softly, you know what part of me. I gotta get up off me. These demons, they trying me. I'm spreading my wings, left my things to soar in the sky. It's the journey for me. Ball like Spalding, know what part of me. Moses part CC, I've been parting the skies. All night grind, I find no wolf, no lie. It's the journey for me. When you travel by wing, you can fly above the cloud. Man, on earth they feel a storm, but up here the view's astounding. Can't earn my pedigree, still keep nice things in my surroundings. Chisel off the bullshit and shape a better me.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Omar Mitchell, and back with another Sarah Stories. You know, it's Wednesdays. What's the word? So today's word is journey. And actually here, my nephew just graduated from the University of Arts out in Philadelphia. So I want to say congratulations to you.
Thank you.
My nephew right here, he about to do big things, y'all.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. You know what I mean? And we have Jalen here. Say what's up, Jalen.
Hello.
Yep. There go my dad.
Yeah, you know about me.
Yeah. Yeah, so we here, man. Again, thank y'all for tuning into the Sarah Stories. We really appreciate it. But just come in real quick to talk about the journey. My nephew just graduated, like I told y'all. So I want to ask him, like, in the 4 years, how did you feel? What happened? You know, and in the session, you know, our stories is always stay aware, rise above it. So what made you, you know, zone in and stay aware and rise above to get to your graduation and finish how strong you did? Like, what made you do that?
Right. It's going to be a ramble, so
Yeah, I understand.
I'm going to talk for a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing.
Cool. So like my uncle said, I graduated from University Arts. 4-year program, and my major was MBET, and that stands for Music, Business, Entrepreneurship, and Technology. But I'm more so stayed in the technology track. So, going in, I mean, like, I always knew I wanted to, like, do music or be in the music industry in some way, shape, fashion, or form since I was like 5. I mean, even though I didn't know what like the music industry was, I just knew I wanted to do something with music. Like, I was playing instruments since I was like dabbling around on a drum kit that I got for Christmas, something, or
Right.
like, you know, or as my parents like to say, my first instrument was like that banana shaker
Right.
or whatever. Did violin when I was in preschool, but like, yeah, like my whole life has been surrounded by music, so I knew in some way, shape, or form music was going to be a part of my professional career somehow. And like, you know, as I got familiar with like more about the industry, more about like what music production was all about, going through high school and stuff like that. I think I want to say it was like around my junior year of high school, like where I was like getting familiar with like all of that stuff. It was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely something I can see myself, like an industry I can see myself in, even though I still didn't know exactly what kind of direction I was gonna go within it, but like having more knowledge, like not necessarily through school, but through like my own personal research of like studying what the music industry entails and like who's responsible for, you know, producing music and engineering music and stuff like that. And I figured like, and especially when I got to college, I felt like, you know, production and engineering is more like the track that I feel like I fit best in, like more so working in the background, because even though they may not be like the face of what the music industry is, or like the face of like who's making the music sound like what it is, like making the music sound good, they're still a very important and integral part. So
Right.
I'd say it's after my freshman year. It was like, just speak about my freshman year, I don't think something just to like, I guess an example of where I like stayed aware and rose above it.
Right.
Being that it was like not my first time ever in Philly, like, you know, I got some half family in Philly, so like, you know, the city is like more like my second stomping grounds pretty much.
Right.
So, but it was like my first time ever like being there more regularly, like actually living in the city and like learn how to maneuver the streets and navigate and like basically learn a whole different culture than it is being in like the suburbs, so to speak. So it was having like a little bit of a culture shock, like not only like learning a lot more about this industry I wanted to be in, but also learning how to navigate in this new environment. There's definitely a lot of lessons you had to learn, like being careful, like being aware of who you're coming across, you know, and especially being like, you know, a talent, like, you know, just having a gift that God gave me to sort of, you know, have an ear for music, and especially in the track of like production engineering that I'm thankful that I've graduated to do now. it's definitely that there's a lot of people who need that talent.
Facts.
Because like music is being created every day, and like everybody needs a beat, everybody needs an engineer to make music sound good. So there's a lot of people looking at, you know, like, oh, you do this, I'm like, cool, like, I need you, I need you for this, I need you for that. And, like, it's cool. A lot of people say that, but there's a lot of people who want something from you who are not necessarily willing to, like, you know, who don't necessarily see the value in what you do, and think it's something like, oh, you can do this easy, like, oh, just break me off a cool deal or something like that.
Right.
And it's just like, no, like, I went to school for this, I studied for this, like, this isn't something that's going to come cheap.
Right.
So it's definitely people out in this industry that you do have to watch out for, because some of them will try to shice you, stuff like that.
Right.
But I've been fortunate enough to sort of, like, the circle I've built around myself, the connections I've made some connections with some very dope people. Like, some advice I'll give is, like, definitely vet out the person before you ever get into business with them.
Talk to them, B. And this is for guys that don't know where they're headed yet. So these are some jewels that my nephew is going to give y'all, because he didn't know, but he dived in and he's finding it out for himself. So go ahead and drop the jewels for them so they can understand as well.
It's definitely something like, you know, I decided to go out of state, you know, jump out the nest for myself, and like, because I had to make a path for myself and see what was out there. So It wasn't no hand, like, I was technically close to home, but like not so close to home where like I had a hand to hold or something like that.
Right.
So it's definitely like I made the way for myself with my own two hands. Like, figuring out where exactly in this business that I want to be, what exactly it is that I'm good at, and how I can make a business for myself out of that.
Right.
So yeah, like I said before, just because this industry is so interpersonal, this business runs a lot off relationships and dealing with like the individual person.
Right.
Like, before you do anything with anybody, you always want to like get that good energy from people. Definitely vet out that good. And like, you know, people are, no matter what anyone tells you, a lot of people are really going to show you who they are, regardless of what their words say. So it's definitely
very true, guys.
It's very good to read vibes, read energy before like you engage with anybody, and any sort of, it doesn't even have to be music or anything like that. Whatever sort of business you go into, always check their energy first before you get to any type of deal that, especially when it involves money. Like, before any of that, always check out who that person is first. But like I've said, I've been fortunate enough to deal with good people who have good energy, good vibes about them, and who are always about like the creative process and their creativity before any type of money or anything comes into it.
Right.
So I've been fortunate that way to engage with those kind of people. Not saying that I haven't had experiences with people who are trying to get over on you too, or like who are so absorbed into themselves who don't even know how to truly collaborate with people, or how to truly appreciate what everybody brings to the table.
Right.
So there's definitely been moments like that.
Right.
And like, especially when they don't seem to come across that way at first. But you know, my thing is like, you got one good time to show me who you are before I'm just like, okay, I see what you're about, I'ma just leave you alone.
Right.
So I guess my way that I've steered away to rise above it is more so that way, just like getting the feel for who people are and like what they're really about before, like, you know, you go into any sort of thing. So I've made a lot of friends in this industry, but not too many, and not really any enemies, because I just sort of like you said, you stay aware of who people are.
Right.
And if you see that they're not really on the same wavelength you are, you just gotta, you know, say like, all right, it's cool.
Right.
I see what you do, I respect what you do, but I'm gonna have to see you later. You know.
That's deep, man.
Yeah.
And I gotta say this in front of the camera too. I am proud of you, B. For real, I'm really proud of you. You know what I mean? Seriously. Not to forget about Jalen. This is Jalen here. He's been growing up and around us too. You gotta tell the people what you're doing, because he's in college as well. He's going to Drexel, right?
Yep.
Okay, tell other people know what you're doing, so that way they can follow, make sure they follow you. You know what I mean? So introduce yourself, let them know.
My name is Jalen. I'm currently going to Drexel University for film and television. In high school, I decided on it in like my junior year because I wanted to do something that I'd wake up and at least be enthusiastic to like do every day and not like hate for the rest of my life. And like just be kind of like going into like business and getting stuck in something like dead end. So it was like kind of a risk because I personally never did a whole lot of creative stuff in my life. Like, I didn't really do creative writing. Most of the writing I did in school was just like essays, and that kind of like turned me away. But ultimately, from like, as someone who grew up around like a lot of like film, games, like books, graphic novels. I just decided like this is what I want to do, and even if I'm going into it like pretty blind, this is just something that I want to just put my mind to and like make something like worth of it, because there is a passion for it that I do have for just creativity in general, and that's just what I wanted to focus on for like the rest of my life, and hopefully somehow along the way maybe inspire other people through my work to do the same thing.
And this is for y'all too, you know, like he just said, even though he doesn't know exactly where he's headed, you know, he has passion for it. So right there is just a start. And right there is all the start you need. Everything else falls into place as long as you know where to start at. If you have a starting point, start there and go. Don't worry about anything else, because it all falls in line after. But you gotta stay focused. So I gotta tell Jalen, like, you're already on the right track, brother. You gotta keep focused on it. And everything that you said, from the animation to, you know, the books and editing that you want to do, just dive in. You got it.
Yep.
You know? What you got to say, Dad?
I concur with everything that both of them have said. And by the way, my grandson, congratulations again. I'm delighted what God has done in your life, and how you have conducted yourself, and make us all proud. And so we're very, very pleased and happy. And for your little brother here, Jalen.
Jalen is next.
He is on his way.
Yep.
And we are looking forward to that day when we are going to come and celebrate at your house what God has done in your life.
You get to do this all over.
Stay focused. Stay focused and stay bonded in what you're doing, so that whatever the ultimate outcome is, you're going to do well. So stay focused.
Yep.
Will do.
All right, guys. And with that being said, you already know what it is. It's peace, love, and respect. Stay aware, rise above it.
Fly another mile, fishing better seas. Them suckers biting style, shake, stretch, let it breathe. Tending to my business, dotting I's, crossing T's. Don't need no cosign from you fuckers, I believe in me. I believe in. Don't need no cosign from you fuckers, I believe. Yes, I believe in. Yeah. Whoa, listening softly, know what part of me gotta get up off me. These demons, they trying me. I'm spreading my wings, left my things to soar in the sky. It's the journey for me. Ball like Spalding, know what part of me. Moses part CC, I've been parting the skies. All night grind, I find no wolf, no lie. It's the journey for me. Yeah, it's all about the journey, fuck the destination. Hit the road up bright and early with no hesitation. It's $1 on the dash, I can't keep 'em waiting. Rain Man got the precipitation.